to the tutorial on co-teaching, selecting a small group instructional approach. My name is Ramona Karshner, and I'm the Director of Special Education of the Central Kentucky Educational Cooperative. During co-teaching, teachers and students are arranged in a variety of ways based on the needs of the students and the instructional content. Each of the 6 approaches requires planning, and all provide advantages and disadvantages. In the early stages of team development, it is common for teachers to select a single instructional approach. However, this selection should not be used in isolation. It's recommended that a team become comfortable with 2 to 3 approaches and practice shifting between them during an instructional session. In this module, we're going to focus on the 3 small group instructional approaches that can be used during instruction. All require medium to high amounts of pre-planning, but provide the greatest opportunities for differentiation. Alternative teaching is used most effectively when the academic levels of students are varied. This approach requires substantial pre-planning, as both teachers are responsible for providing lesson content. The model requires one teacher to take the responsibility for the instruction of most students, while the other works with a smaller group in another part of the classroom. This small group approach could be used for remediation or enrichment. It could provide an opportunity to pre-teach upcoming concepts or even review missed assignments. Alternative teaching is best used for more than just remediation, though, and it should be done while the larger group is checking homework, completing those bell ringers, or after a formative assessment. Students within the small group should not miss out on whole group core instruction. Alternative teaching can be an effective instructional approach that's centered on providing opportunities to differentiate content while providing all students access to the general curriculum. However, if teachers do not vary the makeup of the small group, students can begin to see it as a punishment. Listen as one Fayette County co-teaching team talks about how they group their students.
So this really, it supports the students more. They get that support, and it allows us to really individualize the lessons, and we put the students into groups, not just based on if they're special ed or if they're gen ed. We actually put the groups in together. So I might have some special ed students in my group. He might have some gen ed students in his group. It's really, and we change that almost after every assessment that we give. And then we kind of relook at that and see, okay, who needs what support and where will they best fit? So doing it the way that we're doing it, it really allows us the time, to give the students the supports that they need.
Parallel teaching is another small group approach where the co-teaching team divides the class in half and each teacher teaches the same content to 2 groups at the same time. Grouping of students can be random or based on behavior, learning strengths, or content weakness. An advantage of this approach is that it allows for differentiation of content based on student skills. For example, in a math class, one group of students may be working on math problems with manipulatives, while the other group solves the same problems just without the manipulatives. One disadvantage, though, of this approach is that both teachers must possess strong content knowledge and pedagogical skills. When using this approach, it's recommended that students begin and end the class as a whole group, though. This allows time to set the stage for the small group work and provides an opportunity for final reflection. Listen as a Rowan County co-teaching team sets the stage for parallel teaching.
Your test was over determining missing measures of equals by justifying angle relationships. In this first part of the class where Ms. Pack and I will be talking about your tests and your things, we're going to do some comparing and contrasting. Why is it the angle relationship that it should be? Why not? So.
Parallel teaching allows students with disabilities or specific learning or behavior needs to receive a high level of support in a smaller group setting with a decreased level of social stigmatization that's sometimes associated with individual support. Because there's more student interaction and questioning in parallel teaching, the classroom may be a little louder. Co-teaching expert Marilyn Friend states that parallel teaching is an excellent approach for increasing student participation and tiering that instruction. In this video, Rowan County teachers Micah Stokes and Wendy Pack are reviewing an assessment previously given to the students. Students in this classroom stated that the noise didn't bother them as they're used to working in this setting.
So this is you actually put all of that together and you had to justify their relationships. And I'll say far and wide as a group.
Okay, so look on the
biggest thing
first
to struggle
part.
on
It
is
said
that
number one had that picture.
We've actually got
there,
some
and you
models
had
for
to
you, and we're going to
choose.
model some of the
So which
that are
one did you
answers
put
that we
for
have
number
to
one,
and
Chris?
how they responded.
B. And so
let's
you
look
said
at
it was
number
corresponding, and that was correct. How did you know that it was
What's that
corresponding?
vocab term called for that line that cuts through those parallel lines?
She said B, which was what?
The transversal. So we know they're same side and
So how did you know they were
because they're on the
vertical?
same side of that
They're what?
transversal. So X and Y. Very good explanation.
In station teaching, teachers divide content and students. Students rotate from one teacher to another and to an independent station. Each teacher repeats his or her instruction to each small group so that all students have access to both teachers and to independent work. Unlike the parallel approach, though, teachers using this model can each focus on a specific part of the lesson as those groups rotate. Additionally, independent stations help foster student independence and provide a multitude of self-paced activities. This model does require pre-planning, though, and variations are just limitless. For example, in a language arts class, one station could focus on comprehension of a recently read passage, another could focus on an element of a short story, and the third could give students a writing prompt. In a social studies class covering Central American countries, stations could be based on geography, economy, and culture. On occasion, when content's new and students are struggling with previously learned material, additional instructional time may be needed. A team may opt to complete the rotations over a 2-day period. When doing so, teachers just need to make sure instruction is engaging. All groups have comparable access to both the teachers, and the independent station is not comprised of busy work. This flexible grouping matrix can be found in the resources section of this module. Although older, it still provides excellent information on grouping strategies, as well as cautions and highlights. The key to co-teaching is the ability to differentiate so that all students can succeed. One of the best ways to achieve this goal is through small group instruction. Thank you for your time, and please investigate the resources in this module.